Hello, team, and welcome to another very late night ATP Geopolitics video. Myself, Jonathan MS Pierce, is Ukraine War breaking update news video. I was in bed on my phone looking at all this stuff, thinking, well, there's no point just sitting here looking at all this. I might as well tell you about it. So, what has been happening? Well, the socials are all aflutter with a whole suite of attacks across Russia in terms of drone activity. So the first thing to look at is a place called Pskov. Pskov. I don't know quite how to pronounce that. So reports of explosions near the airport in Pskov in Russia coming in, according to no reports, and there's lots of drone footage. So it is reported a drone attack is happening on the airport. So it is, as far as I can work out, both an international airport and a military air base. So lots of anti-drone activity going on there. Sort of air defenses working. Looks more like small arms fire type thing rather than, or auto cannons rather than any substantial missiles or anything like that. It's reported that two Russian planes are damaged, although we have no visual confirmation. Were the early reports, and this is some fairly big burning going on. And indeed, the latest is actually it's. Latest is that the 4 aircraft have been damaged at least. I mean, that's what the Russians themselves are admitting. So you can rest assured that it'll be at least 4 aircraft damaged. But it also looks like there was a lot of fuel, maybe fuel tanks hit at the air base, possibly even ammunition on board, planes cooking off, all sorts of claims going on, but certainly some serious damage done to the airbase. Oil tank reportedly on fire is a claim here due to the amount of smoke. So it's reported that 4 IL-76 aircraft, these large transport planes here that you can see, cargo planes, military cargo planes, one would assume. At least 4 have been damaged. That's according to the Russians themselves. Secondary detonations are still being heard, said no reports an hour ago, and there are claims that there's still things sort of cooking off now. Russian media write that a total of 15 drones attacked the airport. There are subsequent claims that further drone attacks have been heard or evidenced going towards the airport or at the airport. Police and military are blocking the roads. Here we have it's reported that new explosions have occurred near the airport. So let's listen into this. So a lot of activity happening there, that is for sure. There's sort of different types of footage. Here we have CCTV footage. So pretty, as you hear here, pretty big arrivals. Actually, that's Bryansk. That's the next one I'm coming to. That's not Sokov. Okay, so lots of activity at that particular airport. Where is that? Well, this is, if we go to map, we've got Moscow, so we've got Ukraine down here, we've got Moscow up here, and then where we're talking about is actually right up here near the Estonian Latvian border. And some of the claims coming from Russian mill bloggers and such like, some of the claims are that these can't be Ukrainian drones. That the drones had to have been released from the Baltics, from the Baltic Sea or the Baltic states. It's about 690 kilometers to I think something like that, to the Ukrainian border. This would be hugely significant if they are drones, because they've got all the way, past Moscow and all the way up here to Pskov from Ukraine, and that would just be pretty embarrassing for the Russians. If they have been released from anywhere else, obviously that's hugely controversial. Right, okay. So those are the claims of Pskov. Now we're going to go to Bryansk. Bryansk is here, much closer to Ukraine. And Bryansk, that was the big explosions from the CCTV that you just heard. Quite big arrivals were seen from
Я же сказала, это беспилотник.
the distance here.
Я же сказала, это...
So you can hear, you know, people are pretty affected by this. This is, you know, as you would expect, has a psychological effect on the Russians. The war is coming to them. Moment of impact in Bryansk. Clearly, a drone can be heard prior. So let's.
Это, блядь, беспилотник.
So
Где
these.
это, сука, летит, блядь?
This is a claim that the drones are Beaver drones.
Это 100% мопед, блядь.
Sound very similar to the kind of moped drones of the Shaheeds.
Ну-ка.
Interesting that it goes silent.
О! Пиздец, блядь.
That's a really significant explosion, and it goes quiet before it hits. So as it goes into dive mode, the engine might cut out. I'm not really sure. Different claims that I've heard about that. So explosions in the Bryansk region, footage coming out of Bryansk, an explosion that caused a fire on the Bryansk airport is a claim here. There's no sound to this one, but you can see a fire at the Bryansk airport supposedly there. And actually, we also have claims that let's go to the next source, that it is not an airport, or it is an airport and a microelectronics enterprise, or one or the other, or both. I'm not 100% sure at the moment, but per Russian media, a Ukrainian drone hit the Silicon EL plant in Bryansk, which is one of the largest microelectronics enterprises in Russia. Let's go. So I might have to even turn the sound down to that. I mean, that is a significant explosion being experienced there. You can hear again what sounds like the Beaver drone, I'm assuming. We have seen active in Russia. And that's a big explosion. There's no doubt about that. So claims that Building 16 of that enterprise has been hit, claims that the fire's been put out and everything, but there is Bryansk and Pskov. Now we're going to go to Orel. The least number of claims I've heard about this place.
Да ну нахуй, надо в родакам звонить, блядь. Охуеть. Звоним родакам, пизду. Нахуя? Я готов умереть за Россию. Не смешно, блядь. Да что это? В поле! Ёбнули в поле, блядь! Сука, надо... Ебать, я Аксёну звоню, мне похуй. Бля, может военки сейчас... Блядь, да ты видишь это? Ебать. Что это за хуйня?
Distant sounds. You can just hear it in the background. Just distant explosions there.
По нам, блядь?
And there the light. There the light goes off.
Ебать! Да ну нахуй, надо в родакам звонить, блядь.
So that's an explosion in Orel area. So we'll go and look for that on the map. And that is here, not too far from Bryansk. Now, the question is whether they are hearing what took place in Bryansk from that distance. I don't know. Or whether there are separate targets being taken out in Orel as well as Tula. So Tula, here, explosion and fire reported in Tula. Now, says OSINT Technical. And that's reported in several places. In Tula, an explosion is reported. Highly likely the work of Ukrainian drones, which are very active over lots of regions in Russia right now. Okay, so let's go and find Tula on the map. And Tula is just south of Moscow. So you have Tula, possibly Orel, Bryansk, and Pskov up here. And a lot of damage possibly done, both psychological and material, and particularly in the airbase and airport up at Pskov. The Moscow airports have been shut down to to air traffic, as you would expect. I think it's called the Carpet Plan, where everything sort of shuts down. There are some claims that they've reopened since then, but I'm not wholly sure about that. And then we have these claims here. So the Edelweiss plan was introduced in Pskov. The special services were transferred to an enhanced regime. All personnel were given weapons, protective equipment, and placed on the streets for protection. Most of the employees have now surrounded the airport. A whole bus of policemen was brought there, but the attack was thwarted, right? I mean, the claim from the Russians, they say on their Russian MOD Telegram channel, which I can't bring up on here, it won't bring it up on the browser-based version, but it says 2 UAVs were destroyed over the territory of Tula, 1 UAV was shot down over the Black Sea, another UAV was destroyed over the Black Sea, and 1 UAV was destroyed over the territory of Bryansk. So that's what they're claiming, but I think it's far more serious than that, as you can see from all of the activity recorded on very many pieces of video footage. So lots happening tonight. I think Budanov has been a very busy man. I think there will be an awful lot of fallout to this, and it'd be really interesting to see quite how much damage has been done variously across these targets. So yeah, a very busy night for the Ukrainian drone operators, that's for sure. Now, a few more things to just mention. Max23 says, Pskov Airport, the detonation continues. This is 38 minutes ago. The surviving IL-76s also take off, which is, as you can expect, they'll be wanting to do that rather than get blown up on a runway. And then the report later from the same source is that only 3 military aircraft or transport planes flew from the airfield. So that is that could signify that more than 4 have been damaged. Obviously, the question is how many were sort of parked at that airfield, but by all accounts, quite a large number of them were. And the last thing to say, pretty much, is that Ukrainian drones have reportedly entered the Lipetsk and Kaluga regions as well. So this is to the south of Moscow, again down in this kind of area, and the Kaluga area there. So drones are very active, and a lot of damage has been done, and I guess we'll work out quite how much damage has been done over the next few days or so. Anyway, that's just to let you know what's been going on. It's late, I'm going to bed. Thanks for watching. Take care. I'll speak to you tomorrow, which is today.